Hello everybody, welcome back to Steve's Gear, and we're back with another Chris Reeve knife. So about 3 months ago, I did my first unboxing of a Chris Reeve knife, which was a large Inkosi, and I was so impressed with that knife as far as the build quality and the looks and everything that I ordered this one actually just a few days after I did that unboxing. Now this one's been kind of a drawer coin, to be honest with you guys. Obviously I never made a video on it, but it's a new year. I kind of want to change up my carry. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at what comes in the box. We'll take a look at the knife. We'll do a few size comparisons. We'll kind of compare it to the Inkosi, and then I'll kind of tell you what my plans are for this one. So I picked up a small Sebenza 31 plain, left-handed, drop point blade, silver hardware, double lug, in MagnaCut. We'll take a look at what comes inside the box, just in case you're in the market for one of these and you kind of want to see what's in it. So you get a little folder right here on the top. Inside that folder, you're going to get this little card, which I call the birth certificate. I don't really know what it's called, but kind of goes through some of the specs of your knife. And it talks about when it was made, so September 18th, 2023. You get kind of like a little assembly guide here that talks about all the different parts of the knife. You get a little message there. You get a sticker. You get your warranty registration card. And kind of a little diagram here that talks about some of the achievements. So that's pretty cool. I mean, you do pay a premium for this knife, so it's kind of nice that you get those little extra things. The knife does come wrapped up in a big blue microfiber towel, branded with the Chris Reeve knife. It's good quality. And you get a little pack here, kind of like a little care package. You get some fluorinated grease, some purple Loctite, and the tool to disassemble it. Now, I actually have disassembled both of these knives. Not that they really needed it. I just kind of wanted to see what they look like on the inside. And it was super easy. No problem at all. So this is the small Sebenza 31. Now, this one is obviously the plain version. No inserts or anything like that. I did opt for the silver hardware and the double lug. I do like the look of the blue hardware. I would have kind of liked to have the blue, but this was just the one that was available at the time. Sometimes it's a little bit hard to find those left-handed ones. It does come with a lanyard. I'm not a big lanyard guy. I'll probably take it off. I kind of left it on just for the purpose of the video. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see. There's a few frayed fibers in there. I don't know if it's just a fat hand problem, but this knife's actually kind of disassembling itself off of there. Now, I did opt for that drop point blade. And I love the finish that they do on these blades. It's almost like a light stone wash. It probably has a technical name, but I don't know what it is. And it's razor sharp out of the box. Beautiful crown spine there. It's got a nice little ramp up on it. Some jimping. Now the jimping's not as aggressive as the Inkosi, but it's still pretty good. I kind of prefer that aggressive jimping, to be honest. Now when I grip it, I can get a full hand on it, even though it's the small size. It's pretty close at the end, but I can get a whole grip. It's got a nice place for your thumb there. Holds it really well with that jimping. Now, when I close it, sometimes, I don't know how, but sometimes I have managed to get that lanyard kind of caught in there a little bit, and it actually clips the end of the blade a little bit. So it doesn't happen all the time, just occasionally. So it might possibly cut itself off on its own, but I'll probably take it off. You do get the pocket clip, kind of the standard clip. I know there's kind of an aftermarket for those clips, but I like this one. It works just fine for me. Now, size-wise, it was actually a little bit smaller than I expected when I took it out of the box. I don't know why. I read the specs many times. I've seen lots of videos on it, but when I first saw it, I was like, wow, it is a little bit smaller than I anticipated. But I do kind of like smaller knives. And I went back and forth quite a bit between buying a small and a large when I bought my first one. And I really like the Inkosi. I really like the looks of it. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to get the big one because I felt like my hand might be a little bit cramped with the finger grooves on the small size. And I'm really glad I did. I'm glad I picked up the Sebenza for the small size because my fingers don't really have to fit any kind of grooves. And it does fit really comfortably. I do like it. I think that I might not like the small Inkosi just because I feel like my fingers would be kind of tied into certain grooves and I might not be able to get a good grip on the small. For the large, it fits great, wonderful, but I'm pretty glad I went with the small Sebenza. So let's go ahead and just jump into some size comparisons. So the size comparisons are going to be a little bit strange just because I did pick up the left-handed version. So the clips and stuff are going to kind of be on wrong sides and stuff like that. But we'll start out by comparing it to the bug out. So as you can see, it is a little bit smaller than the bug out. We'll go ahead and throw, I just grabbed some random knives. We'll go ahead and throw the ZT-0450 in there. And you can see it's obviously smaller than that one. We'll throw in the Elementum 2. It's a VV Elementum 2. Some people might be kind of familiar with some of these sizes of these knives, so it's fairly close to that size. I would say it's slightly smaller than the Elementum 2. Just for fun, we'll throw in the Paramilitary 2. We'll throw that in there. As you can see, it's quite a bit smaller than that. And then, just for one more for fun, I went ahead and grabbed a Swiss Army knife. So I grabbed the Spartan with the wood handles, just so you can kind of, if you're familiar with the size of the Spartan, you can kind of see the size difference between those ones there. So as you can see, it is a little bit smaller of a knife. But for me, those little smaller knives, I actually do kind of like them. So, so I get everything closed up here. And then last but not least, we'll put it up against the large Inkosi. So quite a bit smaller than the large Inkosi. You know, the handle's a little bit narrower, obviously a lot smaller. You get a lot more blade on the large size one. Now, I never handled a large Sebenza, so I'm assuming that it's probably pretty close to the large Inkosi size. But as you can see with the finger grooves I was talking about, for me, on the large Inkosi, my fingers fit in there just fine. You know, everything feels really tight. I can get a really good grip on it. I do actually prefer those finger grips on this one. But I just feel like on the Sebenza, you know, if I would have got the small one, I would have kind of maybe been a little bit awkward. So someday I'd kind of like to handle a large Sebenza. Now, I'm not going to be buying one anytime soon. I think 2 Chris Reeve knives is probably going to be my limit for a while. It takes a lot of overtime. I got to work a lot of extra hours to buy these things. This one came in, I think, at around $425, I believe, was the price of this one. And this one, I think, gosh, I can't even remember. I think it was about $500 for this one. So I think about a $75 difference between the two. So, you know, it kind of depends on your personal preference if you like large knives or smaller knives. Now, as I was saying, it's a new year, and I think this is going to be the year of the Sebenza for me. So I think in my non-working hours, I think I'm going to be carrying this one this year. It's a great size, fits in the pocket really well, easy to manipulate for me. You know, I love having that left-handed version with the frame lock. You know, I can still use it right-handed, but super easy. Plenty of blade for most of the day-to-day tasks that I'm going to use it for. You know, obviously it's super sharp. Magnet cut's a pretty good steel. Probably more steel than I'm really ever going to use as far as what I'm going to use it for. Now, if I do go fishing or camping or something where I could possibly need a little extra blade or want a little more grip, that's when I think I will use the, you know, the Inkosi. So this one's obviously a lot more beefy, a lot more heavy duty. You know, you do have a little bit thicker blade on the Inkosi compared to the Sebenza. You can kind of take a look there between those two. As you can see, the jumping I was talking about is quite a bit more aggressive on the Inkosi also. But still just both beautiful knives. I mean, the fit and finish is phenomenal. You know, you hear people talk about that fluid action that Chris Reeve has, and I've watched so many videos on Chris Reeve knives. I've been watching them for years. I just never thought I'd buy one because of the price, but I mean, here we are. But it's just a phenomenal action. You know, if you have a friend that has one or you can get your hands on one to try out, you know, check it out, see if it's something you're interested in. You know, they're not a fidgety type knife. You know, they're not going to be ones you're going to be flipping and closing super fast all the time. But for me, I know I really like this action. I'm not a super fidgety type guy. I mean, it's fun sometimes, but you know, I don't flick my knives 100 times an hour or anything like that. And I don't know, they're just classy. there's a lot of premium knives in the market these days. You know, I watch a lot of the big YouTubers. I'm sure as many of you guys that are watching this probably do. And they do have a lot of premium ones. But for me, I think that Chris Reeve knives are probably the most beautiful knives in my opinion. And so I'm happy to have two of them. Like I said, this will probably be the only two I have for quite a long time. You know, maybe someday I'd like to try out, you know, a different brand of a premium knife. But for right now, these ones I think are my favorite. Let me know in the comments what your favorite one is. If you have any Chris Reeve knives, or if you want to pick one up, what model you want to get. Do you want to get a small or a large, or, you know, Inkosi? You know, what kind of blade shape do you like? So let me know. I always like to know what everybody's, you know, different opinions are. Other than that, that's kind of just my quick initial impressions of this one. I know I said I was going to do a follow-up with this one when I carried it a little bit more. Well, surprise, surprise, I didn't carry it a whole lot in the end of 2023. But this one is going to be my daily for when I'm not working. So maybe in, you know, 3 months or so, I'll kind of let you guys know how it's going. And yeah, that's all I really got from you guys today. I appreciate you guys checking it out. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments. I'd be more than happy to try to answer them. Other than that, I hope you all have a great day. I'll talk to you later.